Hello and welcome to another episode of Ken Training, where we want to give you the training that you need to tackle projects like this one on your own. Today's project is going to be painting these two front doors. Now, I purchased a kit on Amazon, the Giani Royal Mahogany kit, so you're going to see from the start to the finish and how we change the doors that look like this to this. So that is what we are going to be going for. The kit was under $40, which was inexpensive, and it should be able to handle the square footage that I have here, which is like 33 square feet. The kit says it can go up to 40 square feet, so we should be covered. Let me show you the contents of the kit. It did come with these set of instructions, and they give a phone number for technical support, which is really nice. And there's a website and there's videos and stuff like that. Let me show you what came inside the kit. Inside the kit came this drop cloth right here, a paintbrush, some gloves, a mitt, the two containers, which is the base coat and the finish coat. Now, that's my sandpaper there, and that's my sandpaper. They don't give you sandpaper in the kit. By the way, another thing they don't tell you in the kit is the two paint materials are water base. They did give me the 6-inch roller and handle, a couple of stir sticks that are right there, and they even supplied some 2-inch blue tape, or about an 1.5 inch blue tape, or 1.25 inch. That's my tray and my paint can opener. So, and I always have a bucket of water with, I keep a sponge nearby. I got to get my sponge. What we will do is we will paint this door here together. I'll start here on the seam and work towards the inside section. You can see I've already got all the hardware except for this one lock on this door here still on. That's why I'm going to do that door second. So I'm going to start off with this door here. And I have some ram board. Even though they give me a drop cloth, I don't think I'm going to need it. I'm going to put some ram board over the threshold to protect the threshold. And I'm just going to start on this section of the door and work my way over and get that base coat on. All right, I want to give you a close-up of what the two cans look like. So starting with the base coat, it does have the number 1 on it, and it tells you a little bit. It's only 8 ounces, so hopefully this will cover the square footage that we're working with today. Here is the Royal Mahogany, and it tells you number 2, and so it's the second one, and hopefully this will cover for the second one. All right, that's as far as I can go with the door closed. I'm going to open the door and just finish the last section here and here that I didn't do yet. I can tell you, as a DIY painter, not a professional painter, this primer or base coat went on very easily. So I consider this so far DIY friendly. And I still have at least half a container left of the base coat. So I am going to be okay as far as complete coverage for the second door here, 100%. So I had a fear that I might run out of enough material to do the project, but I'm looking good at this point in time. So I'm going to stop rolling film right now, and I'm going to finish doing the base coat on this door and the second door. All right, here's the project for now with one coat of the base coat on, and coverage came out really well. So we're just going to let this set up, and we will return to this in 1 hour, so put on the finish coat. All right, welcome back to our project. I started this project yesterday, but it got too dark, so I wanted to complete it today. And I also went through the edges of the door like right here on this edge here, and also on the other side, that one, and plus this door over here. So I basically am doing the front and then the two sides on both left and right doors. And as you can see, and I've already got the sides all prepped as the same as the front, which I sanded down, primered. Oh, there's my primer. So this is the primer that I used right here, Behr multi-surface stain blocking primer, which it says it is good for wood as well as these other products, but this door that I'm working on is a wood door. So this door is all set. We're ready for step number 2, and I already have the base, not the base, but the finish coat, which is step number 2 right here for the Royal Mahogany, ready to go. I've already stirred it up. I've put it inside of my paint container over here. I have my mitt. I have a bucket of water right here. So what I did was I put the mitt in the water, and then I wrung it out, and then sprinkled it on the ground so that it's just slightly wet. It's not so saturated. And so that's how they want the mitt. So we are going to get going now, and we are going to do the vertical lines in the door. So the part that's taped off is the horizontal sections, which will be the second step. But right now we're going to focus on these grain lines right here. Okay, so first what I do is I dip my mitt inside the paint, and then you don't want that globbering on there. So in the dry section of my paint tray, I'm just going to dab that down, so this way I don't have the paint sopping wet off of the mitt when I put it on the door. Now on my door here, what I'll do is I'll start in this recessed crevices here, and you can do as many final coats as you need. I might need to do, let's say, 2 or 3, so just keep in mind that you don't have to expect full coverage on this coat. I am not happy with the results of using the mitt. To me, it's very, very splotchy. Now, maybe that's just because it's step 1, but just I'm not feeling 100% comfortable, especially inside these crevices and the way that it looks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my brush that came with the kit. All right, see that brush right there? That's the brush that came with the kit. What I'm going to do is on this next door, which is this inside door over here, I'm going to just basically use the brush and try that and putting it all around, but no mitt. So the mitt, what I've done with the mitt is I've put it inside of a Ziploc bag and taken as much air out as possible so it doesn't dry out. I'm going to leave that be for now, and I'm just going to go ahead and work on this other door. I don't think I can give you a good camera angle. Let me see. All right, I'm going to do this top section here, and I'll get as much of this in the camera angle as possible, and here we go. Here's the two doors side by side. The one over here was done with the Mitt. The one over here, I haven't finished yet. I still have to get this section over here, but was done with the brush. Now let me give you a detailed shot here so you can kind of see what it is and see what you think. I think that the brush technique is coming out better. This here is the Mitt technique here. This over here is the brush technique. At least that's my initial impression of what everything looks like. So right now I'm going to have to get this section over here, so I'm just going to go off camera right now, try to work on this some more, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I've been giving it some thought. First of all, let me tell you where we're at with the project. There's one coat of the finished product on. It's dry to the touch. I've waited probably about 45 minutes now, and you can see what the two doors look like. Now, after I was giving it some thought, I think what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to use this brush right here, and I'm going to use that to go inside of the crevices of the recessed portions of the panels. Okay, so in all of these sections I'm just going to use the brush. Then I'm going to use the Mitt, which is just inside this bag right here, and I'm going to use that to go over the long sections for the second coat. I think that will give me the best finish that I'm looking for. Look how blotchy everything kind of looks right now. So we're going to do that right now, and let's see the results. All right, here is the second coat of the finish Royal Mahogany. I ran out of product, so the little 8-ounce can that they gave me over here is completely empty. I didn't finish the project because I never got to the horizontal sections. I did remove the tape just in this one section. I am not digging what I am seeing. I'm not liking definitely two coats. Now what I'm seeing is a very blotchy project, and look at that. I mean, it's very blotchy. Okay, it's definitely not the finish that I'm going for. Now the question is could I salvage this by getting another container? And I'm thinking about ways that I could have improved this project. Now maybe if I'd have put some Floetrol, let me show you what that is. All right, here is a bottle of Floetrol, and what that does is it gives you more open time by eliminating brush and roller marks and improves flow and leveling. Now, it's possible that with this type of a product, I would have had more open time with the finished product, which is this product right here, okay? The part number 2 for the Royal Mahogany. Now it's possible if I'd have put some Floetrol inside of that and mixed it up, that it would have given me more open time to prevent it from drying out so quickly, and I would have had the ability to do smoother lines. Now the best section for smoothness is probably this section right here, where you can see this run right there where I did, and it looks pretty good. I'm wondering if the color is exactly the color that I'm happy with. So the Royal Mahogany's, quite honestly, it's a little bit more redder than I anticipated. I don't know if I quite wanted such a red look. but in any regards, the blotchiness is completely unacceptable. So I'm going to sleep on this and think about what I want to do for moving forward here. Do I want to keep this? What are my options? My options are to continue with the project that I'm on. I have to get another container of the Royal Mahogany. The Mitt technique, which was using the mitt and going over the whole project, that really wasn't a very good technique for me. In my recessed sections of the panel, I got a lot of pooling that was there. Now that might have been my own error by going on too big of an area at once and not really paying attention. But then you got to kind of possibly switch back and forth between the mitt and the brush, and it's not, let's use the term, I felt like it wasn't DIY friendly. These results do not look DIY friendly to me. So again, let me sleep on this and figure out what I want to do. Okay, I had the night to think about what I want to do with this situation, and what I decided to do is that I'm going to sand these doors down and I'm going to repaint them. I'm not going to use the Giani kit. I have my orbital sander, my 5-inch orbital sander right here, so I'm just getting ready to sand it down. And what I'm going to do is I've already gone to the store and purchased 1 gallon of the Behr exterior satin enamel finish, and the color that I got is this color right here called Calvary Brown. So I'm going to go off camera, and the next time you see these doors there'll be a dark brown, which will be a nice contrast to here, kind of like the contrast that you see here. Now I called Giani's technical support and I told them about what was happening with me with the blotchiness, and they said that what I probably did wrong was that I had the mitt too dry. It wasn't wet enough. I think that if I had used the Floetrol, I would have possibly been okay, but in all honesty, the color is too red for me anyways. So the color, that's on me. I can't blame Giani for the color because I chose it. I think for me, for this 2 doors, the dark walnut would have been okay. Now maybe if I had purchased the dark walnut and I had my technique down where I didn't get that blotchiness, I would stay with it. But as it is right now, I don't want to keep putting my time and energy into the door. I know that if I sand it down and give it 2 coats or possibly even just 1 coat of this paint, I'll be done. And I'll be done very quickly. So I'm going to put the camera away for now. I'm going to go offline, remove the tape because I don't have to worry about doing any graining lines. And I am going to get right into my sanding, wiping it down, and then giving it 1 coat of paint immediately, and then we'll see what the results look like. Okay, here you go with 1 coat of coverage with the Behr paint. I do not have full coverage. If I give you a zoom in here, you're going to see some areas that are going to need a 2nd coat. Let's see if we can find something here. It's right there. You can see a little bit of light coverage. So right there at the bottom as well. But it's almost full coverage. It's like 95%, let's just call it. So I think it looks really good. It's all solid. There's no blotchiness. It's 4 hours is how much time you need in between coats. And it's getting, the sun is setting. So what I'm going to do is just let it dry to the touch so I can remove the paint for now, the tape for now. And then I'll come back tomorrow and give it the 2nd coat. Put the hardware done on the door and we will be done. So that's it for now. Okay, here is your final product for the doors. This is the 2nd coat of paint that's on here, and you can see how well that comes out, and it's easy to apply this paint to the exterior doors. It doesn't have that grainy look like the Giani kit did, but that color was unacceptable to me. Now maybe if I'd have done the walnut with the correct color, I would have been okay, but I was having a hard time with the technique and I was getting blotchiness. So all I did was buy 1 gallon of this exterior satin enamel Behr Ultra, and it was about 40 bucks, just under 40 bucks, and I put a little Floetrol in it so that it would help level it out and see the brush marks. Now, if you look at the job, look at how, if I go in nice and tight, you don't see any brush marks or anything like that on this. It's perfect. Look at it from sitting here from a pan back position. These front doors look absolutely gorgeous. Here I am panning back so you can see how I like the dark doors with a light colored house, so this way the doors really stand out. Here's the next project. What I'm going to do is use that same Calvary brown paint, and I'm going to paint this garage door and this garage door, so it'll be matching the front doors. I think it'll look quite beautiful. Okay, I want to give you a couple of a review of the Giani kit that I purchased. Now, for me personally, as you know, because I changed my project direction, the kit did not work out. Do I recommend the kit? Possibly. I don't want to condemn the kit because there's some things that I could have done better. Well, number one, I didn't choose the right color, and I didn't feel like going through the learning curve and choosing the right kit color, which for me I think would have been dark walnut, which I did not purchase. I did the royal mahogany, and that turned out just to be too red for my liking. That's why I went with this one. Now, these are just some sample pieces of paint samples that I did prior or as part of the project. Here's the Calvary brown as a paint sample, and I really like that brown, and that's the color that's on the door right now. And I thought, you know what, this is going to look beautiful. I think these doors look beautiful. Now, if I was to move forward with the Giani kit moving forward, this is what I should have done this. And if you're going to move forward with one of these kits, this is what I think you should do. I think you ought to get yourself a sample board, something about this size, and put down your base coat, so you've got your base coat on the board. Then when you do your second coat, do it on here, wet the mitt, and then try to do it so that you can get a feel for the project. It's working with their materials and how everything is going to look. If you can get your sample board to look the way you want it to look, then you can move forward. For me, it was a big pain in the ass because I did it not on a sample board, but I did it on the actual doors. And then I was unhappy, and then I had to go and sand, and so I created 3 more hours worth of work, which could have been avoided had I just put it on a sample board to begin with. So that is my fault. That is completely on me for not doing that type of technique or procedure to make sure that I had an established sample before moving to the project. That would have been so much better off. Anyways, hindsight is always 20/20, and now that I can sit back and quarterback this, in an armchair, it's a lot different than when you're like into the project. And when you're into the project, you just want to kind of move forward. Anyways, that is what I would recommend for you. So I don't want to completely knock the Giani kit. I think that the Giani kit could have worked. If the color was right, do the sample piece, make sure that it works out. One thing about the kit that I didn't like when using the mitt was that in the recesses of the panel door, the paint would collect in those recesses, and then it was drying out too quickly. I think for me, they said that what I needed to do is I need to have more moisture on the mitt. I actually think that I needed to do a combination of some moisture on the mitt, which I did have, but also some Floetrol in the actual paint to give me more working time. It was curing out for me too quickly. It was 80 degrees when I was doing that particular Giani kit, and it was just setting up too fast. By the way, I did use the Floetrol on my coats here for coats 1 and coat 2. What I did is I took my 1-gallon container, poured it inside of a plastic container, put a little Floetrol in there, mix that up. If you've never used Floetrol, it does not change the color. I once did a wall. If you check out my channel on a review of the Faux product, I was having trouble with an interior wall. That's when my first experience with this product, and I was having, what was happening is that the latex paint was drying too fast, so when you rolled over it and you tried to re-roll it to make sure you had no runs, what happened was it was already dry by that point in time, and it produced a fuzzy finish on the wall, which to me was unacceptable. I wanted perfect, no brush strokes, no roller marks. So I had to sand the wall down, go back over it with paint with Faux, and I was able to fix those issues and come out with a beautiful wall. Same with this project right here. I put it just gives you more working time. It helps level out, reducing the brush strokes and the roller marks, which is only going to benefit your final product. So it's $8 a bottle or whatever it is. It's well worth it. So I don't want to say that I'm giving a thumbs up or a thumbs down for the Giani kit. I'm just going to say that the Giani kit did not work out for me. It may work out for you, but with those tips that I gave you on your samples, I think that you could buy their kit, do the sample, and I think you would be okay. I mean, the investment was, in my opinion, modest. It was a very reasonable investment. It was only $40 for the kit. Now, mind you, I spent $40 for that 1 gallon of paint, and I have so much leftover paint. I got enough for I think both garage doors. So I'm going to get the paint goes a lot further, but it's a different look. The Giani kit is trying to give you, what they're trying to give you is that stained look, but by using paint. Now, as an alternative in my research of using let's just say faux finishes with stain, they now have a product called a stainable primer. I'll see if I can leave a picture of it right here and leave a link in the description if you want to go in that direction. But what you can do is you can sand your project down, put on 1 or 2 coats of the stainable primer, then you can go into it with a traditional stain, and you can stain your project. And if you do 1 or 2 coats of the stainable primer, if you do the second coat, you can even use a graining tool. The graining tool gives you the grains of the wood, which gives you that real authentic wood look. Then you can go in and stain that, and then depending upon your project, top coat that with spar urethane if it's an exterior project, as an example. But do you see all those steps that I would have to take into consideration? If I was to go in that direction, I'd have to put on 1 or 2 coats of the stainable primer, then stain the project, then top coat the project with my spar urethane with 1 or 2 coats of that. That's a lot of coats and a lot of work. These doors that are behind me, they don't have that stained look, but I think they still look beautiful. And all you have to do is basically sand it down and give it 2 coats of paint, and you're like done. Depending upon your state of doors, you could put on 1 coat of primer and then 2 coats of paint. So you'd be touching the door technically 3 times, but you'd be in a really good position. Now, if you'd have taken a coat of primer and you tinted that primer to the same Calvary brown that I used, and then put on 1 coat of Calvary brown, you might have gotten away with it with 2 coats, 1 coat of the primer tinted, and then 1 coat of the paint. Then you might be in a solid condition right there, only touching the door twice. So it's a lot. To me, it's a lot less work, and I think the years that you're going to get out of the project is well worth it. So that's the direction that I'm going to take, and you can see the results that are right behind me. That is going to conclude this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel, Ken Training. Please smash that like button down if you got any value out of this video whatsoever. Comments down below what you think about the project. Do you think it was okay that I changed directions? Tell me about your experiences on your projects. Would love to hear them. And that's it. I will catch you on the flip side.